What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Harris, and today I'm going to be installing this test pipe on my 9th gen Accord. Now, if you're wondering, well, why am I doing this? Well, one, the car officially has 71,000 miles. I've been driving it a lot. I've had it for 5 years. Close enough. And the cat is rusted. I mean, if you look at it, it's just filled with rust. You guys saw my exhaust video when I did I still don't know how to say it, but let's say pseudo exhaust. When I did that exhaust video, you saw how rusted the cat was, and also as well how rusted the bolts were. So that's why today's video might or might not go my way, but we'll see how that goes. The reason I'm going with a test pipe, of course, is because a catalytic converter, yes, it is mandatory for emissions and making sure the environment's good and all that stuff, but obviously, with a straight pipe, it's less restrictive. We should then gain more performance. And on top of that, it should also change the sound of the car. I'm hoping it doesn't change it too much because I actually don't mind the sound that I have now. But of course, we'll see. Now, this is from RV6 Performance. Can we see that? Nope. All right, great. It's from RV6 Performance. It is a 2.5 inch. The exhaust is all the way 2.5 inch from the cat. So this is gonna mount up very nicely to that. Yeah, that's about it for this. Now let's get into it and see if we can get this done. Now, before we get into the install, let's go ahead and hear how the car sounds before we put in the test pipe. This is a dual exit pseudo exhaust. I did the video on that previously. Make sure to check the cards for that video. Now that we have that out of the way, go ahead and of course jack up the car securely. Make sure to put it on jack stands. Make sure it's on there good and solid. And then of course go ahead and take off the cat. Now normally, right, you would think 6 bolts, 3 on each side. This is no problem. Just take them off. Well, not if you live in Illinois. There are 6 bolts, as I stated, 6 nuts / bolts that you have to take off, and if you're in Illinois where it snows, these are going to be rusty. Even the new ones that I put with the new exhaust were already rusted out. So I did everything from a lot of heat to an air gun to heat and fast cooling, so that shock factor, and even trying to cut it off, and none of it worked. So I had to go ahead and take it to my local shop, friends of mine over at MXPI Tuning. And of course, as soon as I got there, they also had the same issues. They couldn't simply get the bolts off, so they did have to cut off all of them. And this is that moment. This is that moment that everybody talks about. It didn't fit. That's right, the test pipe didn't fit, and that's my fault. That's completely on me and nobody else. The reason it didn't fit is because it wasn't made for the car. Nobody makes a test pipe for the 9th gen Accord. So if you're watching this, that's the problem. Nobody does. And people like the RV6, they don't. And I don't blame this on them. It is their test pipe, but I didn't order it from them. I actually looked on their website and it nowhere said that they had a test pipe for the 9th gen. Understandably so, because they don't. This particular test pipe, from what I can tell, is most likely from the 8th gen Accord, which they do have a test pipe for. Now, you're asking yourself, well, if you didn't get it from them, who did you get it from? I got it from somebody on Facebook who claimed that they had a test pipe for the 9th gen car. That's what I get for believing them. I've done my own research. I've looked multiple times online. Obviously, RV6 is one of those companies that I've been paying attention to, and I know they didn't make one. I searched countless times online, and nowhere was I able to actually find a test pipe for this car. So when they told me that they had one, I was second guessing it, but not enough to say, no, I'm not gonna give you the money for that RV6 one because they don't say they make one. Nope, I just believed them and sent them the money and got the pipe, and well, that's that. Now that's out of the way. Of course, the shop did had to cut one end of the test pipe by the flange, rotate it a little bit, and weld it back on. I didn't get that footage just because of the situation we were in at the time, since I told the shop, oh yeah, you just gotta cut the old bolts off and put this in. Obviously that wasn't the case. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at how it sounds. I think it sounds good. I'm actually super excited about it. It definitely changed up the, it didn't change up the sound, but it increased those, how do you want to call them, gurgles? They're not really pops, but it's almost like backfire sound. And so I do like that. I do like that it did increase that a little bit, and the volume of the exhaust might be slightly louder. Not necessarily such a big difference to the point where you can clearly notice it, but I do believe everybody that's heard it before and after does say that it did get louder. So it's not just a placebo effect. As for horsepower, honestly, I don't know. Once again, the car's not tuned, so really not gonna see any kind of horsepower gains. At the same time, it is possible that you might, who knows. Almost certainly there are none that I can tell. If there are any gains, they're slight, but almost certainly there would be some kind of gain, since a catalytic converter is very constrictive, and this is a 2.5-inch straight pipe, so more airflow is going to go straight through it. Airflow, exhaust flow, whatever you want to call it. Overall, I am happy. The cat was completely rusted out, and as well as, of course, the bolts and nuts attached to it. It gets so hot with the winters. The hot and cold constantly is just going to make these things rust out and not function the way they need to. Why not go another cat? because I'm a car guy and I like to modify, and I don't like stock stuff, and I don't like emissions, to be honest. But obviously this is not road legal. This is not emissions friendly. It even says on the test pipe if it's for off-road use only. So do not put it on your car if you have to pass emissions, or you're in a strict state that requires testing of the smog or the actual emissions from the tailpipe. But otherwise, that's it. I wish I had better news for you guys. There is no test pipe. You are better off either one or two things. One, you can order this one from RV6 and do exactly what MXPI did for me, where you had to cut it, twist it, weld it, and so on. Or you can just literally buy stainless steel tubing with the tube flanges, probably run you a little bit less on that end, and just take it to a shop so they can weld it in. If you are in the state of Illinois, I would suggest MXPI. Otherwise, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.